The Death Company are members of the Blood Angels chapter of Space Marines who have fallen to a genetic defect known as the Black Rage. The origins of this debilitating condition date back to the time of the Horus Heresy. The War Master Horus launched the full force of his rebellion against the capital of the Imperium on Terra. It was there when Sanguinius, the Primarch of the Blood Angels, faced the arch-traitor Horus alone aboard the Vengeful Spirit. Sanguinius was struck down and defeated with a deadly strike from the wicked claws of the Talon of Horus. The fall of their Primarch caused a psychic backlash, which resonated through the very souls of the Blood Angels of the 9th Legion, leaving an everlasting scar throughout their genetic structure. The Blood Angels would later become well aware of this affliction, and despite the best efforts of the chapter's sanguinary priests, the only known cure is death. Differing from the desire for blood that is the red thirst, this new curse was far more untamable. The Blood Angels call it the Black Rage. With each passing century, the Black Rage claims the minds and souls of more and more battle brothers, and still no cure exists. One of the only known cases where an individual has returned after having suffered from the Black Rage is the Blood Angels' chief librarian Mephiston. At the Battle of Hades' Hive, during the Second War for Armageddon, Mephiston had fallen after sustaining horrific wounds, and was buried under the collapsed rubble of a nearby building. By some unknown miracle, the Lord of Death emerged from the rubble stronger than before, no longer afflicted by the Black Rage. This mysterious event suggests that it might be possible for those warriors who possess extreme willpower and psychic strength to fight through the floor. Those who become afflicted by the Black Rage suffer with overpowering visions of the Primarch's death, dominating and consuming their once noble minds. At this stage, every enemy on the battlefield appear as if they were the very traitors who laid siege to Terra. This drives the affected Blood Angels into a frenzied-like state, and they will stop at nothing to carve down every last one. Once the Black Rage begins to take hold, the descent into madness is inevitable. It can take years, days, or even minutes, but their fate is always the same. The fallen angels are removed from their former positions and surrendered into the care of the chapter chaplains, who are able to harness their endless rage and somewhat guide their assaults towards the enemies of the Emperor. These formidable warriors now fight as members of the Death Company. To mark their affliction, their power armor is colored black, bearing a red cross to symbolize the wounds of their beloved Primarch Sanguinius after he was slain by Horus. The Death Company is appropriately named, as its members fearlessly dive into battle with no ability to follow the tactical plans of their commander, with only the inspiring war chants of nearby chaplains guiding their delusional fury. Without the chapter's chaplains, this degree of control would not be possible. The Blood Angel sanguinary priests often spend most of their time searching for a possible cure, while the chaplains keep a vigilant watch for any early signs of the Black Rage among their fellow brethren. When they're not needed on the field of battle, the members of the Death Company are imprisoned in the Tower of the Lost within the chapter's fortress monastery on Baal, under the eternal watch of their chaplain guardians. In times of war, they are unleashed into battle, seeking to cleanse the curse from their souls by giving their lives in the defense of mankind. Members of the Death Company are usually equipped with an assortment of weaponry, largely dependent on the war gear they used before their fall to the mind-consuming rage. Chainswords and bolters are commonly found within their ranks, but also power swords, power fists, and enormous thunderhammers are wielded and used to great effect. The combination of this powerful array of weaponry provides them with the tools they need to tear their way through the enemies of the Imperium with devastating efficiency. The Blood Angels captains and commanders deploy the Death Company where they can provide significant tactical advantages. They are often sent in with jump packs as part of the vanguard, spearheading assaults, or catching the enemy on the flank to inflict horrific damage while the rest of the Blood Angels' forces move to capitalize on the enemy's disorder. Wise commanders see the Death Company as a glimpse into their future, an inevitable fate that will one day be shared by all of Sanguinius's sons. Because of this, they are treated with respect and honour, and will not be carelessly thrown away with disregard. This is not always the case, however, as with some successor chapters, such as the Flesh Tearers, who are known to take a much harsher approach. They have little concern for the lives of their death company, and use them as nothing more than a blunt instrument to break into the front lines of the enemy, no matter the cost. Despite the differing perspectives, every Blood Angel successor chapter has records of the honourable deeds of these fearless black-armoured warriors. The Death Company often find themselves in last-stand situations, fighting against overwhelming odds, so that their battle brothers can achieve their objective. For all the darkness the curse of the Black Rage brings to the Angel's descendants, it also bestows a parting gift. In the thick of battle, the Rage removes all feeling of pain from their soul, allowing them to wade through enemy gunfire that would bring even Terminators to their knees, and fight on despite the loss of limbs and the infliction of mortal wounds. Once the fighting has concluded, and the Rage-induced visions calm, many of the injured Death Company will simply collapse from their horrific wounds, as their fading madness can no longer sustain their broken bodies. Those who survive are returned to the Tower of the Lost, until they are next called to unleash their fury upon the enemies of mankind once more. Perhaps one of the most legendary members to have fallen to the dreaded Black Rage is Erasmus Tycho, the former captain of the Blood Angels' Third Company. Tycho was once chosen by Lord Commander Dante to become the next chapter master of the Blood Angels. He earned Dante's respect during the Second War for Armageddon against the savage ferocity of the Orcs, where he demonstrated his masterful abilities as a commander. At this point, Tycho was widely considered as one of the best and brightest his chapter had to offer. Later in the conflicts, Tycho and his command squad were ambushed by an infiltrating Orc mob. An Orc Psyker, known as a Weird Boy, unleashed a brutal psychic attack on the captain, and, though he survived, one side of his face was left badly scarred. Tycho would later conceal this damage with a golden death mask, as he felt he was no longer sculpted in Sanguinius's vision. This scarring was the beginning of Tycho's downfall. By the time the Third War for Armageddon came, Tycho had been claimed by the clutches of the Black Rage. Dante's brightest star had now fallen. Tycho was placed into the Death Company, where he led the assault at the hive city of Tempestora, which was occupied by a massive gathering of Orcs. Tycho's legendary charge would bring victory to the Blood Angels on this day, but unfortunately, the former captain did not survive to the end. Among the Blood Angels, there are a few whose willpower runs so deep that they still manage to maintain control over the soul-stripping burden of the Black Rage. One such member is Chaplain Lamartes. Although Lamartes himself is afflicted, he is free to lead his brothers into glorious battle, and has earned his position of Warden of the Death Company. Lamartes first fell to the effects of the Black Rage before the battle against the Orcs, on the world of Hadriath 11. He was sent into battle alongside his new unit of Death Company Marines, but after the initial assault, Lamartes was the only survivor of his squad. The fall of his fellow warriors in black fueled his inner rage as he continued to hack and carve his way through the savage Orc defenders. After the battle had concluded, Lamartes fell to the ground, weakened by his sustained wounds. Astorath the Grim, the Blood Angel's Redeemer of the Lost, arrived to deliver Lamartes into death's embrace, releasing him from the curse, as is the way with all Death Company. As Astorath raised his executioner's axe, Lamartes spoke to him and requested to be spared for the opportunity to continue to fight for the Emperor. This request came as a surprise to Astorath, as such calm and clear words had never been uttered by one afflicted with the Black Rage before. In normal circumstances, following a battle, the surviving members of the Death Company are in such a state of deranged fury that the only option for them is release. Lamartes was returned to Baal and examined by the chapter's librarians and sanguinary priests. After their investigations, it was established that Lamartes was in fact afflicted by the Black Rage, but seemed to contain the side effects somehow through sheer iron willpower. Many thought that this was only a temporary state, and that the eventual loss of control would be inevitable, but Astorath remained hopeful, and offered Lamartes a way in which he could continue to serve the chapter. He assigned him to the position of Guardian of the Lost, and was given an ancient weapon of sacred power once wielded by the first High Chaplain of the Blood Angels, called the Blood Crozius. Under Lamartes' watchful guidance, the Death Company have become even more potent than before. He is forever directing his fallen angels through the hazed frenzy induced by the Black Rage, ensuring that their heroic sacrifice is never in vain. Although the Blood Angels' gene line has been cursed, hope still remains, for if one son of Sanguinius can retain control over the Black Rage, then perhaps others can do so as well.